Thanks for staying with us. We are back on Across Louisiana here in the capital city. A friend of mine for about 35 or 36 years, Mary Stein with the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. How are you?
I'm great, Jason. How are you?
Doing good. I am very excited to see for myself that the library is completed over there, but for you as well. We've noticed it's been quite a few years.
It has, and it's been a community effort, and we're so grateful to the community for their patience and support, and now their enthusiasm, because when they come to the library, they're coming more and more, they're staying longer and longer, and there's plenty of places to park.
Well, you've made it a destination. The quiet room on the second floor is my not so great secret because there are other people up when I go as well.
That's a wonderful thing. You know, people wanted quiet and they wanted coffee, and with the new main library you can have both. So you literally can have your cake and eat it too.
All right, well, we're going to talk about one book, one community, and I suppose everyone in the community reads the same book. Pulitzer Prize-winning first novel by John Kennedy Toole, of course, Confederacy of Dunces. Why'd y'all pick this one?
Well, it is one of the classic books about Louisiana. It was time we felt to roll out a Louisiana book that wasn't on all of the major best of lists, though it's certainly a best of list for us. And it is a book in which New Orleans is actually a character, and all those wonderful characters from the 60s, if you're a modern person, you might say an avatar. If you're an old-fashioned person like me, you might say they're almost a stereotype. They're an archetype of all the wonderful French Quarter characters that ever were and ever will be. They're all found in this one book.
Okay, well, do a demonstration of the hat for us real quick, because that is a really cool prop you've got there.
That's right. Ignatius is known for rolling around the French Quarter in his flannel shirt and his green hunting cap with the flaps.
There you
go. We will be wearing them along with our bushy eyebrows and our bushy mustaches at our kickoff later on in February, on February 28th, downtown Baton Rouge, in Town Square. It's going to be a free street party, and you do not want to miss it.
Okay, so tell us about, this is a nationwide event. Talk about the One Book, One Community and what it does.
Sure. This is something that has been going along all over the United States for more than 10 years now, and we started here in Baton Rouge a number of years ago in 2007 with the Big Read, and when we all read To Kill a Mockingbird. And the whole point behind One Book, One Community is that for once, everybody's on the same page, no matter what your background is, your education, your job, your economic status. We all have at least the opportunity to start on the same page and then have a conversation about it. Kind of like the day after the Super Bowl when everybody has seen the same commercials, and so you have something uniform to springboard a conversation from. And the idea is that we can re-knit our communities through wonderful conversations, and this is an icebreaker for a conversation.
Would this count as an AR book in school? Actually,
for some of our high school readers, they most likely would be able to get AR levels for this. The thing with AR credits, the classics that have been around for more than 50 years have often made it to that list, and most of those classics were not written for teenagers.
Gotcha.
So this one, being published a little bit later than that, is slowly getting on some of those lists, and local high schools are indeed, some of them have chosen to read the book, and they'll be doing some events as well.
Okay, we're out of time. Real quick, contact info to get involved with One Book, One Community.
ebrpl.com.
Okay, Mary, great to see you.
Thank
for being with us. Okay, we're going to take a look at another wonderful organization. You've seen them at Mardi Gras, the Black Indians from New Orleans. They've actually formed an alliance called the New Orleans Black Indian Alliance. Let's take a look.
Nobia is a group of several of the Mardi Gras Indian tribes that came together to help promote our culture as Mardi Gras Indians in the community here in New Orleans, so that we're not only doing things in our own tribes, but coming together to promote as an educational awareness, but also as a way to raise awareness and the level of acceptance and promotion for our Mardi Gras Indian culture.
The Indians usually mass on Mardi Gras Day, Super Sunday, and St. Joseph Day. So we're taking our authentic indigenous culture and we're presenting that in non-traditional settings, and that's where we visit hospitals, schools, senior citizen homes.
We have done promotion with other tribes to talk about how to copyright their artwork, their suits, their beadwork, and different things like that, because a lot of times other entities profit off of the work that Mardi Gras Indians do with sewing and all the hours and time they put in to create these suits. So a photographer could come in, take a picture of it, and make money off it, and nothing goes back to the person that put in the work to make this happen. It's not that this culture is here to make a profit, but it's to share our experience and our unique experience as Black Indians.
It takes about a year, so it depends on how big of a suit you're going to make, the time that you can devote into making the suit, and the money.
When a person says, how long does it take to make an Indian suit, and you tell them a year, the truth of the matter is it is a 1 year of a life. And what I mean by that is, if you were working on what we call a collar or a dicky, if you were working on that part of your suit in November, you could pinpoint what section you were on during Thanksgiving. So that suit, which is a year of your life, is also a chapter of each thing that happened month by month.
The headpieces are very special, the way we make them. And we don't describe too much how we make them, but we use beads and sequins. And I took a little uptown flair, although I was a downtown Indian, I took a little uptown flair. And that flair was basically plumes. Well, downtown was basically feathers, beads and sequins, where uptown was rhinestones and beads and plumes.
It's not something you can like, you gotta love it. It's a labor of love. So that sewing thing is a very, very intimate, very spiritual thing, because when we sew, we're singing songs and we're thinking about, we're masking as we're sewing. As a person is sewing that apron, in his mind, he's meeting those guys with that suit on. He sees that already. So he's just doing what it takes to make that vision a reality.
My uncle would always have his suits out on the bed. So when I came over to visit him, it was just a natural thing for me to see the Indian suit. My first time seeing him in the suit, I didn't even know who he was. He was coming up the street with the Indian suit one Mardi Gras day, and my aunts, they said, "Go on outside and see your Uncle Booker coming down the street." So when I saw him, it was almost like Jesus coming down the street. I was happy and excited. And I didn't, until he got really up close, I didn't know that was him.
This culture is important because it is an authentic American tradition, formed by the slaves and the Native Americans coming together. So it's from here, and it's still here today. Especially here in Louisiana and New Orleans, the tribes come together, and it's gone on for years. For people and families and friends coming together to work on these pieces of art, these suits. But it's more than the suits, it's what the culture represents. People that have stood the test of time in the midst of all kind of oppression, all kind of division, to still maintain who they are as a people. And as a cultural tradition, it's a gift to our community, and it's very important. We're holding our first ever Mardi Gras Indian Ball called the Soiree of Feathers in March.
It's the New Orleans Black Indian Alliance and the Friends of Nobia are putting on the most historically relevant and culturally significant event in the history of the culture of the Mardi Gras Indians.
It's just a time for the tribes to get together and people that love the culture to get together and come together in unity to celebrate this culture. The main purpose of this is just to unite all the tribes together so that we have a stronger voice as one. And as a stronger voice as one, we can get more done to promote the greatness of this culture.
We're going to step away for just a moment. When we come back, we're going to talk to Barbara Oughton about Charlie's Place here on Across Louisiana. Stay with us.